You know, some people live by feelings. I understand that. Something feels right, you do it. Some people, though, live by logic and reasoning. They always analyze things and look them over real carefully, and if logically and by reasoning it adds up, then they're willing to do it. They're thinking, reasoning people, and they're feelings people. We call them left brain and right brain people. But I want to add a third thinking part to the equation. Some people act because they feel like they ought to. It feels right. Some people act because they think it through and they reason it and it's reasonable. But I want to suggest to you that as believers, sometimes we ought to act just because our faith tells us it's right. Now, when what we feel about it and what we think about it and what our faith tells us, when these three all line up, it's easy. It's real easy to act. Because when it feels right and the logic of it is good and your faith agrees, no one has a problem taking a step then. But what about when your feelings are hesitant? It just doesn't feel right. And the logic just doesn't add up. But your faith tells you this is something you must do. That's when we find out what it really means to walk by faith and not by sight. If you get serious about making a commitment to God and His church, I guarantee you this, the enemy is going to hassle you. Satan is not going to like it. But I guarantee you this also, God will be pleased. There's one other thing about faith I would remind you. A faith that faces tough times is a faith that never, ever lets go. It's consistent and it's persistent. It refuses to give up. It refuses to let go. It brings a dogged determinism to see something all the way through to completion. If you're doing what is right, even if you're tired, even if someone opposes you, even if it is difficult, you will not cease, quit, let go. You will not give up. That is a faith that faces tough times. Let me tell you something about God. He's not some kind of vending machine that you put prayer coins in to get whatever it is you choose. Faith is about believing and trusting and obeying and giving. Not so that God will give to you, but because you know Him and you want to please Him with your life. And friends, listen. There's one thing that I know will please God. And it's not memorizing another Bible verse, and it's not saying a certain prayer a certain way. It's not repeating a ritual or singing a hymn. The one thing I know for certain will please God is when you have faith. Because without faith, it is impossible to please God. And the God we serve is a God who rewards those who believe in Him. My question to you this morning is, do you believe? Do you believe in what He is doing? Do you believe in His call on your life? And if you believe, will you take a step